You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasy football.
Live from the fantasyfootballshow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, good people? We've got news to get to. We've got waiver wire advice. We're doing the waiver wire show, the week 1 waiver wire show refresh. This is like our third edition of this thing, but we gotta refresh the fact that Zemir White was number 4 on the depth chart coming into today. But does that mean that we drop him too much? I don't think we do, but we do maybe put a couple guys that were all neck and neck above him, and we're gonna go over all that and more. First, we're gonna hit the news desk, get through a few real quick pieces of news, and then we're jumping to the week 1 preemptive final refresh waiver wire show. Let's go.
From the fantasyfootballshow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So we have a little bit of news here. We'll start off with what I just mentioned. Zamir White is being listed as the 4th running back on the depth chart. Now, this is kind of like this is strange to me because, you know, they drafted this kid for a reason. Some coaches do things differently to motivate players. Some coaches do a whole, you got to prove it. We're going to put you here. We're going to put you there. Some things come down to pass protection. Some things are actually where, like, if the starter went down, the 3rd or 4th running back on the depth chart comes in as the replacement because of special teams and other things that a number 2 and number 3 running back can maybe take on as a veteran. So this doesn't really deter me away from Zemir White. I want him on all my rosters. I think he could win leagues. But it does maybe make us put him maybe below a couple of the other waiver wire potential amazing snags like Rashad White, who's number 2 on the depth chart. A guy like Algiere, who could end up starting games really early on. And players like that. So we'll get to that in the week 1 waiver wire segment right after this news piece. So Zamir White, don't like go cutting him unless you could pick up one of the other guys we'll talk about in a minute. But absolutely love Zamir White, despite that news. It's gonna, I think, freak a lot of people out. He could be the most dropped player this week in some formats, because people are gonna just say number 4 and then go running for the hills. But some cases it might be good to cut him if you're gonna get a Rashad White. We'll talk about that in a minute. Dameon Pierce named the number 1 starter, listed as the number 1 running back on the official depth chart, but this is not surprising, but this will vault his value up in the final days and hours of your drafting. So if you're paying, 5.1 value now on the regular, or even 5.1 to 5.5, you're probably going to end up paying 4th round value moving forward. This news won't be good for his ADP. And at some point you got to draw a line and say, hey, I've already got this kid on like 4 rosters. I'm good. I don't need to reach into 3.5 or 4.1 or whatever. In some leagues, it makes sense. It just depends on who you're drafting with in the snipe city that you might have going on. But in general, you might want to move on at a certain point. Know that you've got him. We own him probably more than any player, I would say, on like any of the sleeper lists or any of the players that have potential breakout written all over them. We have so many shares across our community of Dameon Pierce because we've been talking him up from the beginning. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. You in the back. I got D-Town in the back there. Rob, Macho Taco, Bumpy, KJ, KI, Anonymous, Rock Out. All of you, congratulations. You did it. You made it. I mean, what an amazing player to have on 3, 4, 5 of your rosters, when maybe 2 or 3 of those, maybe 40% of those were when he was a 6th, 7th, and 8th rounder. That's how we do it. That's how Dad did it. And we're going to continue to smash and dominate leagues. This is just the beginning. This Dameon Pierce stuff is just the beginning. We've got a whole list of moon men right here.
The moon men, dropping loads in outer space.
We've also got the Mars men.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
We also got the tripod.
The tripod, also likened to pyramids in ancient Egypt, are constructed using Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Javonte Williams.
Do you know how many tripods we've got going on out there? And the cousin to the tripod is the Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Swift, or a couple other different variations of this bad boy. We've got people all over. That have the combinations of the things I've just shown you, and we're going to dominate. Pierce is just the beginning. If there are any proud Pierce owners, drop a what emoji should we officially designate to Dameon Pierce, so that let's make it a weird emoji that we don't ever see, so that we know when someone wants to mention Pierce, you drop the emoji and I know exactly who you're talking about. Somebody give us the best emoji possible. The best, not fire, not a flexing arm, something nobody sees. No one throw the eggplant out. Let's get a good emoji, an emoji that represents Dameon Pierce, and we'll start using it go forward, because we need something. Fire's not going to work. Somebody drop something good. Dameon Pierce is essentially a low-end running back 1. The sword, I kind of like the sword. Dameon Pierce is going to pierce your league. I think we could do this. Dameon Pierce. we got the what is this? Is this a snake or a lizard, or what was that? Looks like a dragon. I like the dragon. Proud owner. The cross swords is pretty good. Proud Pierce owner. I like that. I kind of like the cross swords. I like the sword, the cross swords. Sean wants to know why no eggplant. I'm kind of thinking Rock Out says the ambulance. Okay. We got the star, we got the horse, we got the upset emoji. That kind of works. Like he's steaming mad. Damian Pierce underdog coming in. Ninja's pretty good. So I think I'm gonna make an executive decision here. I want to make an executive decision. I'm going to go ahead and say, we can't use the rocket because we use that for a ton of things. I'm going to go ahead and say the ninja emoji. The ninja emoji is the new Damian Pierce, official Damian Pierce icon or emoji. If you want to talk about Damian Pierce without saying his name, you drop that emoji. We'll make some kind of scene for it. Okay, moving on because we got to get to the waiver wire show. Here, what have I been saying? What have I said about Akers? Don't draft him. What have I said about players like Barkley last year? Don't draft him. I get sick and tired of everybody coming in here and trying to tell me about injuries or that injured players are coming back or that Smitty, you got to have faith. Why are you so down on injured players? Look, I've had every knee injury in the book. I know what it is to be an injury-prone player. But when people keep drafting...
Alert. Maximum levels reached. Prepare for transformation. Alert.
Time for a Smitty rant.
Listen to me and listen to me good. We've had this conversation way too many times. Smitty, what about Barkley? He looks so good, Smitty. He looks so good. How many times did I tell you not to draft Barkley last year? How many times? How many times have I told you not to draft Akers? Akers going in round 3. Everyone and their mother was drafting this guy, Cam Akers, in the 3rd round a month or 2 ago. I said stay away. Now he's a 6th, 7th rounder. No one wants to touch him. If you own Cam Akers and you tried to trade him for a 5th or 6th round player, no one would take him. Nobody wants him. He's now in a running back by committee. He's coming back from a torn Achilles tendon, and the guy is coming back. This is his first year back. He's like 13 months fully recovered. Not fully recovered. 13 months recovered from his Achilles surgery. And yes, he came back and played a couple games last year. That doesn't mean this is his 2nd year back. This is his 1st year back. J.K. Dobbins, not ready. Smitty, J.K. Dobbins. Smitty, J.K. Dobbins is good. You're going to see they want to run the ball out there in Baltimore. Stay away. He's not ready. Barkley, not ready. What did I tell you about Barkley last year? When a player comes back from an ACL tear and isn't fully ready for week 1, but gets shoved out into the lineup, guess what's going to happen? Swelling constantly. The knee is designed to swell as any other part of your body, but especially this knee. When there's anything going wrong inside this knee, when things are going wrong inside the knee, it swells up to protect it. This guy is going to have Chris Godwin, J.K. Dobbins. They're going to have constant, make sure I don't get back on my chair and sit on this, please. J.K. Dobbins, Chris Godwin are walking in unprepared and not ready to play football. They want to be. They're tired of the negativity and the doubt. They're worried about their jobs, as any NFL player would be, especially J.K. Dobbins, because running back jobs are not held for very long in this league. Hence why we've never, ever, ever in the history of the NFL seen a running back come back from a torn Achilles tendon like Cam Akers. Not ACL. That's Adrian Peterson. Achilles tendon is right here in the back of where your heel, above your heel, below your calf. Your Achilles tendon. It feels like a cord right here. When you snap that thing, you have no explosion left. No one has ever come back and become a top 15 running back. We have Deonta Foreman coming back and finally looking good 75 years later. We have Marlon Mack 16 years later, practically, coming back and doing some things. Sure, great, amazing, okay, but running back starting jobs aren't waiting for you. Cam Akers essentially has the best chance of anybody to have a job opening potentially there for him, but his explosion will not be there. J.K. Dobbins torn ACL, just like I told you to stay away from Barkley last year. He will not be ready, and he's rushing back. I have news. We have the most recent news saying that we don't know what his workload's going to be, and they're probably going to not give him a hefty workload at the beginning part of the season. He's going to be sitting out of practices with swelling because his knee's not ready. If he was ready, there'd be no talk about limitations. There'd be no talk about light workloads. There would be no talk about could he maybe miss the week one. Oh, he could play. He should play. I'm going to play. Wait, maybe he won't. I'm going to play. That means he's not ready. Barkley wasn't ready. You have so much swelling because your knee says, what are you doing? I'm not ready. You're out there cutting running backs more than any other player in the league. Getting hit, helmets hitting the knee, unexpected jerk movements like that because you're getting hit left and right. You're unexpected hits left and right from 300-pound linemen. Then they try and drive you into the ground 2 and 3 at a time while you're trying to run up the A gap. It's different than a wide receiver who tears his ACL, goes out there, and he's controlling all of his movements. Yeah, he gets hit once in a while. Yeah, 2 or 3 guys might hit him. 2 or 3 guys might drive him into the ground. Defensive backs, not linemen. Running backs, every carry up the gut, completely hit from left, from right, not expecting this movement, that movement, planting. ACL and Achilles are taking so much trauma every time they carry the football. If you're unprepared for week one, I'm not going near you coming off an Achilles, especially. I'll never go near an Achilles running back coming off year one, ever. But an ACL coming off week one, if you're not fully prepared and had enough time and you're questionable, that means you're rushing back. The swelling is going to be unreal. So I forget why I even started this rant. I think I was talking about Godwin. Was I talking about Godwin? I think I was trying to go toward Godwin. Godwin is barely ready for week one. Godwin, the information I'm just going to show you in a second, says he's not sure if he's playing week one. Are you playing week one? His quote, I'll have to read it. I think if I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect of, no one knows. I don't think anybody knows if I'm starting week one. He's not ready. He's an injury-prone player, and he's going onto the field potentially not ready. What do you think's going to happen? If he's barely ready for week one, his knee's going to swell. He's not going to practice. Here's a guy that's injury-prone, not going to practice. All he's going to do is go out there and just get hit aggressively over and over when his body's not prepared throughout the week. No practice is to just walk out there as an injury-prone player coming off a torn ACL where your thighs are different sizes. When my calf, when I tore my ACL, I tore my left ACL. My right calf was so much bigger than my left calf for like a year. You're off balance. It's like putting a 24-inch tire and a 18-inch tire on cars and then driving and expecting everything to just be not off kilter. Godwin's a stay away. J.K. Dobbins a stay away. A Cam Akers a complete stay away. Just like I said Barkley was last year, and Barkley was the worst disaster pick you could have ever made. Now, I'm not against Barkley this year. He's 1 year recovered, but I'm still in a wait and see. I'm not taking him in round 2. I don't like him in round 2. Anybody that's drafted Barkley that kind of has regret, Barkley remorse, because you spent second round value, it's not that hard to trade Barkley and another piece like a Bateman or whatever to upgrade into Javonte or DeAndre Swift. Stay away from Godwin. That's the lesson. Don't want to sit on that. Okay. There we go. I know we got some super chats in here. Where are we? Godwin. So speaking on a podcast, Godwin said, I don't think any of us know that yet when asked if you play week one. Not a good sign. 282 of you in here. Please punch that thumb up button. This is the guy we're here to talk about today. Rashad White, baby. Yeah, buddy. Rashad White, number 2 on the depth chart already. Rashad White is one micro movement away from the starting job in Tampa Bay. These Leonard Fournette truthers, I don't know where they come from. They're made of something different. These Leonard Fournette owners are different. They're cut from a different cloth. Their loyalty is amazing, though. Their loyalty is amazing. They're just misguided when they think that this kid's going to come out, Rashad White, and just allow Leonard Fournette to hold him off. This guy is the best pass-catching, Rashad White right here. This guy is the best pass-catching. Got him right here, double screen, Dublaze. Best pass-catching wide receiver in the draft class. Him and Etienne are arguably the best pass-catching running backs in the last 5-6 years coming out of college. This kid knows what he's doing. He's not some receiving back, only receiving back, change of pace back. He's a big boy. He's a big version of Alvin Kamara. He's Alvin Kamara, but taller and bigger. And while we won't call him stronger yet, because Alvin Kamara is intensely strong, amazingly strong, undescribably strong, this kid has the potential to be Alvin Kamara, but big version, full-size version. A running back that could come out and be a between-the-tackle running back, and he is. And if you haven't watched his film, I can tell. If you don't like Rashad White, if you don't think Rashad White has a chance to take over the starting gig from said Lenny Fournette, you haven't watched Rashad White footage. I know that. You come out and tell me, hey, Smitty, I don't think Leonard Fournette, if you come out with any kind of mumble jumbo about how Rashad White can't take Leonard Fournette's job, like can't outright take it, you have not watched Rashad White film. I know that for a fact. Because if you watch Rashad White film, you would come back and say, Smitty, I love this kid. The ability to cut left, right, drag people for 4 or 5 more yards. There's not a running back in this draft class that knows how to get an extra 4 yards when the play is completely going to crap. This guy gets corralled by 3 or 4 guys, somehow finds a way to slip and move and slide and fall down 4 yards downfield. This guy has an ability to slip and fall into the end zone, nose for the end zone. This guy, Rashad White, has the best hands in this entire 2022 NFL draft class, and probably tied with Etienne for the last 5 years. Let's go.
Mashed potatoes!
We're going to get to this in a second in the waiver wire show, but are we worried at all? No, because everything is completely baked into the value. There's nothing risky about Rashad White. You're getting him in double-digit rounds in redraft leagues. You're getting him late in your rookie-only drafts. You're getting him for backup value in a trade. He's arguably, in my opinion, after, let's say you go into a rookie draft today and you draft Breece Hall and you get Dameon Pierce second, you get Walker third, you get a couple wide receivers. Then I'm looking at Rashad White that high in the middle of the first round. I wouldn't even bat an eye if somebody came to me and said, Smitty, I had to do it. I was at number 4 overall in my rookie-only draft, Smitty, and it went Breece Hall, Dameon Pierce, Kenneth Walker, and I could have took a receiver, Smitty, but I went Rashad White. I'm not making that person take a lap. I'm not, because Rashad White's got that much upside. Now, should you take a London? Probably. Should you take a wide receiver or 2 and then go kind of bold with the Rashad White? Yeah, or the Tyler Algiere. We'll talk about Tyler Algiere in a second.
To the moon.
There's a lot of moon men, potential moon men on this waiver wire list. This is a really good group of players walking into week 1 potentially as the preemptive ads for week 1. You see them all on screen right here. Isaiah Likely. I saw a comment in here earlier. I'm watching. I read everything. I saw a comment. What's going on about Isaiah Likely, Smitty? I saw that comment. I don't know who it was, but I saw it. And we're going to talk about Isaiah Likely. So Likely is likely to be a very darn good player. We'll talk about him in a minute. We got guys like Jaylen Warren, number 2 on the depth chart now. Dobbs is low on the depth chart, but real excited about him. You got Khalil Shakir as an interesting guy. Pacheco, Herbert, Pickens, Jody Fortson behind Likely here. Davis Mills sitting out there on waivers. I don't know why. This guy could be a top 10, top 12, top 13 quarterback. Nico Collins, one of my favorite wide receiver 4-5s to put on your bench. Zemir White, I don't care if he's listed as number 4 in the depth chart. I still absolutely love him. But because of the number 4 in the depth chart, could be a degree of separation away from the lineup a little more than we'd like right now. I still, that moves Rashad White, Khalil Herbert, Pacheco, a couple others maybe ahead of him, but he's still in like the top 5 or 6 overall potential adds. And in leagues where not every guy we talk about is available, maybe Zamir White is still the number 1 player to add in your format because he might be the only guy the guy that's listed the highest on here that's available. So we'll get into that in a second. Finishing up the news, I would just say that Rashad White season is upon us. This man, I meant to hit this button, but that's okay. We'll send him to the moon and give him a standing O. Rashad White is headed to the moon. 340 people in here. Punch that thumb up button. Let's get those. Those are rookie numbers. 108 thumbs up with almost a 400 view count. Rookie numbers. We can pump those numbers up. Let's go. Rashad White season is upon us. One more standing O.
To the moon.
What am I hitting? I hit the wrong button. He's the moon man.
The moon man. Dropping loads in outer space.
He's right here. Anybody wants to know? There's a reason Rashad White is a moon man.
Space monsters.
Space monsters indeed. Let's get to the week 1 waiver wire preemptive show, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the magic happens. This is where potentially leagues are won. Right here, right now, the waiver wire show. Because I'll tell you one thing. While you might sit there and say, Smitty, I don't think Zamir White's the guy. Smitty, I don't think Brian Robinson's coming back. You really think Brian Robinson's coming back? There's a lot of names on here that you might doubt, but you need to understand something, okay? It's always uncomfortable until it happens. It's always uncomfortable to say, oh, Rashad White's going to beat out Leonard Fournette at some point during the season, or Lenny's more likely to get hurt than actually get beat out. Let's just put that out there. Do I think Leonard Fournette's just going to be replaced, supplanted from the lineup? No, I don't necessarily think that's the most likely scenario. I think the most likely I can't use the word likely anymore because of Isaiah Likely. It's the most probable scenario. Okay, that the injury is what takes Leonard Fournette out of the lineup. Rashad White comes in, and then maybe even if this guy, Leonard Fournette, gets healthy again and comes back, maybe he can't get his job back because Rashad White looks so phenomenal. That's what I think is probably the most likely. Injury, and then White takes off with the job. At the very least, you're getting a 50-50 timeshare at some point in my mind. And with Rashad White pulling in all the PPR work because they brought him in for a reason. Look, Rashad White is the number 1 pass catcher in the entire 2022 NFL draft class. The number 1 pass catcher. Do you honestly think that Leonard Fournette's going to hold him off for very long when Lenny runs around all over the place and ends up on the wrong end of a route, ending up on the wrong part of the field in a wrong corner of the end zone? Leonard Fournette is notorious for running a route the wrong way, going in the wrong direction, and ending up in the wrong spot. Tom Brady has been furious with Leonard Fournette's impromptu decision-making in the pass-catching department. There's a reason why the number 1 receiving back in the entire 2022 class was drafted onto this team with Sir Tom Brady, because Tom Brady requested it. Look, everybody's got these sources. Per source, Smitty. I heard a source that says that Javonte Williams isn't going to get all the work. A source told me Javonte Williams will get 50% of it. I could care less about your source, Bob, or any source out there. There's a Broncos beat writer that everybody keeps DMing me about. Smitty, have you seen so-and-so's tweets lately? I looked at it, and I retweeted one of them on my Twitter if you want to go check it out. I don't care what a beat writer or anybody. I don't care how experienced they are. They don't do what we do. We look at things from 1,000 miles up above. And my job isn't to talk about what happens potentially in week 1. My job is to tell you what's going to happen to Javonte Williams on the season. Javonte Williams is going to be, in my prediction and analysis and projection, and in my mind, at the end of the year, the number 1 running back in fantasy football 2022. I will be releasing one more video on Javonte Williams as we head into Thursday night. Javonte Williams is the 2023 number 1 overall pick. And I'm just going to tell you one more time. I'm going to tell you one more time. You can either believe me. You can either say, nah, I'm not going to take him where he's going at 2.1 to 2.8. Am I asking anybody to draft him tonight in your last minute draft at number 5 overall? If you take Javonte Williams out of turn, out of place, if you take Javonte Williams at 6 overall, if you message me in the next 20 minutes or leave a comment in here, maybe you already have, that says, by the way, I'm going to get to all the super chats in a minute, guys. If you message me and say, Smitty, I love what you're saying. I totally get it, what you're saying. But Smitty, I hear you. You said don't reach on him. But here comes the but. Here comes the but. Here comes when somebody starts making me angry. But I got the 4 pick. I don't know that he's going to make it to me. So do I just take Javonte at number 4? I get that question about every hour. You've got to play the odds game in your favor or you're going to get burned. Javonte's not going anywhere near round 4. There's a difference between reaching in context, reaching within the parameters of ADP. I do not draft off ADP. I do not suggest that anybody drafts off ADP. When I say use ADP to your advantage, draft around ADP, massage the ADP, take advantage of the ADP. No way, in no way, shape, or form am I telling you to draft off the recommended ADP list given by your platform you're drafting on, like ESPN. Smitty says take best player available. Do you even know what best player available means? Bob doesn't know. Bob thinks I'm saying draft the highest ranked suggested player by ESPN. That's not best player available, Bob. Best player available is taking the player you believe based on ADP, based on your team build, based on the 11 other owners or grandmas you're drafting with, and then making a determination who's the best player available. My best player available oftentimes is a reach by 3, 4, 5 picks. I'm always reaching on my best player available. So make no mistake what best player available means. It means take the player you think that could explode the most, has the highest floor, but the most ceiling value. A guy like Javonte at 2.1 to 2.12. Home run smash. I'd never let him fall into round 3. But Smitty, sometimes he falls to 3.1. I wouldn't know. Nor do I care. Nor do I care to push the limits in the envelope to see if maybe Javonte falls to round 3. When someone says, Smitty, I got Javonte at 3.2, I tell him to take a lap. Smitty, I got Javonte at 3.5, take a lap. Why? Because you were risking losing him by not taking him in the middle of round 2 or at the end of round 2. I'm not risking it taking him in round 3. That's like flying this close to the sun and expecting not to get burned. I'm not doing that. But you also have to, in the confines of ADP, make sure you're not reaching for Javonte at 5 overall when his ADP's clearly cemented into round 2. Big difference. I don't even know where I was going with this other than to wrap up this Rashad White and just tell you it's uncomfortable. Oh, it's uncomfortable until it happens. Rashad White taking Leonard Fournette's job. All you Leonard Fournette truthers out there are going to say the same thing over and over, and it's boring. It's obvious. It's honestly boring. I am tired of hearing it. Leonard Fournette, he's so good. Do you really think that a rookie's good? Yes, I wouldn't be saying it if I didn't think it. Smitty, be honest. Do you really think Leonard Fournette's going to lose his job? I wouldn't be saying it if I didn't believe it. So the answer is yes. Rashad White is special. If you don't think so, you are admitting to everybody that you have not watched the footage. You have not watched this kid's footage on YouTube. Go YouTube Rashad White. Watch about 5 minutes of his footage. Then come back to me and tell me he's a better pass catcher or weapon than Leonard Fournette. He's not. There's a sources. That's where I was going. Sources. Hey, Smitty, Javonte Williams is going to be sources. Source here, source there. I've got people that whisper in my ear too. Okay? And sometimes I'll admit I don't have any solid source on something. Or sometimes I'll admit I've got people I trust very close to this situation. I've got chat groups. I've got all kinds of different pockets of information coming to me when news breaks. I can't tell you how many times I get a DM, Discord message, everything. I'm hearing everything, and I've got people in different places. And in my Niner community, I've got high up people that I hear from. I've got guys like Raj, who's very connected to Niner people, that I hear things from him. I got people all over the place. And in Tampa, I'm hearing from birdies that I trust, little birdies on my shoulder that I trust, that Tom Brady made it a point to walk out of this 2022 NFL draft with the Bucs drafting a guy like Rashad White, or specifically Rashad White, to solve the problem that Leonard Fournette is creating with his inability to run a route properly, end up in the right place at the right time. Tom Brady's frustrated. Tom Brady, by request, wanted this man or one of the best pass catchers in the draft to come in and potentially take over as the third down and PPR guy. Okay? So Rashad White, you can believe it all you want. You can deny it all you want. You can do whatever you want. Ultimately, I care about my people, but I don't care about the negativity surrounding Rashad White. Rashad White, let's take Rashad White over to the waiver wire segment and start breaking it down. Let's do it live. Let's break it down. Let's go. Now we sit here and we contemplate which one of these bad boys to move to the one spot. Which player has the ability to win your league? Which player on my scale, because only I do this and only I do it this way. I can't tell you what amount to drop on your fab wad. Like, hey, go ahead and drop. Smitty, tell me exactly how much to spend on Rashad White. How would I know? How would I know? I'm not a magician. I'm not a sorcerer. How would I know what your league traditionally drops on the number one waiver wire guy? Or are you going to get laughed at for dropping a 50% of your fab wad on one player? Do you have to drop 100 out of 100? I have a league where I have to drop $100 out of 100 whenever you want a player. Yeah, by week 5, everybody's out of money, but there's no good players left anyway. And honestly, that's probably the smartest way to do it anyway. Like if I was to say this is the best way, it's drop $100, drop $100, drop $100. By the time you get to week 5, week 6, everyone's money's spent, but there's no more Rashad Whites. There's no more Eli Mitchells. People that hang on to their fab dollars when you're allowed to pick up free guys after waivers process every week. It's crazy to hang on to this money. You need to spend it wisely. You need to drop it on the right player. But I can't possibly tell you who you should pick up. I first want to point out that if Kenneth Walker is available, you need to grab him. I've had a number of people say that he's been dropped, so he's kind of like the zero. Okay, Kenneth Walker's number 1. I'm gonna put him up in the corner. If he's available, he's the number 1 pickup of the year. Grab him. I've dropped my entire fab on him. I think Rashad White's clear. It changed his name. It's Rashad White. Why is autocorrect always doing this to me? Okay, there we go. So Kenneth Walker's number 1. Kenneth Walker's number 1. But how much do you drop on Rashad White? Okay, in a realistic scenario where Rashad White's available. I don't have that answer. What I do have is a particular set of skills that have made me a nightmare for fantasy owners that are your opponent, skills that I've acquired over a long career, skills that make me a nightmare for Bob and the people you're facing on a weekly basis, and that is the confidence level of said ad drop. I can offer you this. I can't offer you an answer because I don't know your league as to how much to drop. I can offer you that this guy, in a scale of 1 to 10, where last season coming out of week 1 after I told you to draft Eli Mitchell. Eli Mitchell and Sermon would win leagues as a pair, as a cuff. People say to me all the time, Smitty, yeah, nice prediction, like your Sermon prediction. Actually, Bob, I predicted Sermon and Mitchell as a cuff to win leagues, and they won leagues. But you missed on Sermon. No, not really, because I said Mitchell and Sermon would win leagues. Even though I said Sermon and Mitchell, who Sermon was supposed to be the better of the two, it was a cuff situation. It was a cuff situation that won leagues and people cleaned up. People that didn't listen and didn't draft Eli Mitchell like I told them to, what did they do? They scrambled like everybody else after week 1 on the waiver wire, spending an enormous amount of money, which was worth it because he was the best pickup of the year. And when I came to this scale last year, I immediately, coming out of week 1, made Sermon a 9.5 out of 10. I said, this is the best pickup of the year. I can't say 10 because I'm rarely ever going to use 10. 10 is when it's just clear as day without any hesitation or equivocation. But I told everyone 9.5, Eli Mitchell's the best pickup of the year. My confidence level through the roof. Rashad White, if on waivers right now. I had everybody at about a 7.5 in the preemptive initial waiver wire show. Right now, I'm going to say with the news, him being the number 2, there's no question about him being the number 2 in the depth chart. He's 1 degree of separation, 1 injury, 1 stutter step, one series of fumbles back-to-back away from the starting job when his skill set is far superior than Leonard Fournette's. Yes, you heard me correct. Leonard Fournette truthers out there that draft him in round 2. Anybody upset right now in the chat or in the comments at the replay that drafted Leonard Fournette in the second round, they're going to come firing at me. You kidding me, Rich? This guy actually said, if you want to lose your league, listen to this guy. He's actually saying that Leonard Fournette, my second round pick in 8 leagues, is going to bust. I don't like what I'm hearing. This man's crazy. Are you listening to this man? Everything's uncomfortable until it happens. Everything. My Eli Mitchell, 9.5 out of 10 last year to be the best pickup of the year. Rashad White, we're going to put him at an 8 to an 8.5. Right around that range. We'll put him like an 8. I'd say 8.5. I'm doing 8.5. I want to put him at 9. We got to leave room for improvement. We can't blow our 9 or 10 rating wad on the screen before week 1 starts. But if I had to, this is a very high number. Everybody should be taking this away from this show. Rashad White ranking as an 8.5 out of 10 on my confidence level scale of being the number 1 ad of the season. It should be taken note how high this number is. 8.5. We're locking him in at 8.5. That is an extremely high number to give out before week 1 even starts. That is the bar. The bar is 8.5. I had Zemir White sharing the role last show when we weren't sure where the depth chart and pecking order was shaken out to. I still love Zemir White quite a bit. Smitty talks about Fournette more than I do, secretly loves him. Brian is probably, and this is where I feel bad whenever Brian's watching, because Brian is a very good dude. I love Brian. Brian's awesome. But Brian is the biggest Fournette supporter, so I know this stings him very badly. And it's going to sting anybody that loves Fournette. Especially if you draft him in round 2. You draft him in round 2. What do you think you're going to say when you see this? You're going to come in firing. What are you talking about? This guy's crazy. He's talking about Fournette being a bust? What? Fournette's the worst second round pick in fantasy football. The worst second round pick in fantasy football. There is no worse pick than Leonard Fournette in round 2 in fantasy football. The guy came in overweight, put his body through heck, trying to get that weight shed. That puts you in a vulnerable spot. You're more likely to get hurt, especially when you're older. He's an older running back. Older running backs break down. He's always injured. Even if he plays a significant portion of a season, he's always banged up, never plays a healthy season, and he's getting older. The writing's on the wall. Like, I almost feel like this is easy. This is easy stuff. This is kid stuff right here. I feel like everyone's going to be giving me a round of applause when this thing works out. Like, Smitty, he's the...
To the moon.
Wrong button. He's the GOAT. He's predicted. Rashad White, I can't believe he did it. Wow, what an amazing man. I feel like this is easy stuff right here. I feel like the writing's on the wall. It's my job to read that writing. Sometimes that writing is hard to read. Sometimes it's far away. This feels like a cakewalk to me. Obviously, Kenneth Walker, for anybody wondering if he's available, you need to put him at the top. You got to put him at the top. But this kid, Rashad White, 8.5 out of 10. He's the current leader. The current leader. I'm going to copy this and put him there and leave him there for the time being. The current leader in the history of the 2022 waiver wire shows and segments. He is the leader. He is the leader. We're going to have a box for him somewhere as the top waiver wire ad of the year. We'll swap people in and out of that box as it changes. But for right now, Rashad White, you are currently, my friend, the number one waiver wire ad preemptively of the 2022 fantasy football season. And if you don't grab this kid and he's sitting there on waivers, you will be sorry. Number 2 is a tough one because we got a guy like Zemir White who's 4th on the depth chart, but still probably in the best situation, like quietly, of the rest of the guys because he's got Josh Jacobs. The team doesn't believe in him. The team ran him out there in the preseason with all the 2s and 3s and just ran him into the ground. Like, truly, they don't care about keeping him healthy. They obviously, they don't love the kid. The kid went off the rails 2 seasons ago trying to threaten and tell fans to come fight him at the stadium. And he told everybody, if you remember the story, he blocked me on all social media. And some people think that's why I don't like Josh Jacobs, because he blocked me on all social media. But I went after him a little bit saying, how dare you tell fantasy worlds you're not playing? Because he sent a story post on his Instagram out 2 years ago and said, I'm not playing. And everybody benched him and freaked out. News wires everywhere. I was reporting on it. Everybody naturally reports on that. On Josh Jacobs' Instagram story, attention, alert, breaking news. Josh Jacobs said he's not playing today. And then he laughs about it, warms up and plays. Plays awful. And everybody that benched him ended up maybe winning their league because he scored like 3 points. And everyone's like, look what you did. You think you're so funny. He did that not to toy around and be like cool funny. He did it because he said, I hate fantasy. I hate all your fantasy. Stop asking me about fantasy. His own fans are cheering him on. Are you playing today? Are you not playing today? Score 2 touchdowns for me today. He couldn't handle the pressure. So he got mad at his own followers. You don't, when you put a story post up on Instagram, you're talking to your own people. If I put a story post up and I say, hey guys, 90% of everybody that views my story post is following me. He put a bird emoji up on his story and said, F your fantasy. And so everybody started saying, this guy's off his rocker. He told me he's not playing. I benched him. And thank God I did, because he played horribly. And now he's giving me the bird. I'm a follower of his. And he's giving me the bird emoji and told me to F my fantasy. I was irate. I went out and I said, how is Josh Jacobs even allowed to do this? What's the team saying? Why is he being like this? He blocks me on all social media. Then fans go at him and start DMing him, commenting negatively, and he starts giving out the address on his story post and screenshotting all the negative comments. Says, come down to the stadium. Here's the address. Come down to the stadium. Here's the address. He went off his rocker. My whole point in this story is that Josh Jacobs is not cemented into a role with the Raiders that you think he is if you believe in him. The team doesn't want him there. He's a head case, clearly by what I just described to you. And he's got a young, up-and-coming rookie running back named Zamir White, who was very, very good in college. All he needs is a shot. He's got to stay healthy. He's got some injury concerns potentially, that he's got to shake off. And that label can be shook off. But this guy walks into a situation that's kind of like no other. I like him a lot. He's got Josh Jacobs. He's got Abdullah, who can't stay healthy. And really nobody else to compete with. Zamir White is a fantastic speculative pre-week 1 preemptive waiver wire ad. 500 people in the chat. 172 likes. Let's get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Appreciate you all. Zamir White season is potentially here. That's right. That's right, Snake Eyes. It's potentially here. I'm going to get all the super chats in a minute. Zamir White, unbelievable talent in an actually quietly unbelievable situation, regardless of the depth chart. pecking order, regardless of the depth chart pecking order. I'm going to put him down at 5. We might massage him up into the 2, 3, 4 spots, so hang tight. I'm just going to throw out my 2 through 5 in kind of no particular order, and then we'll bump them around. The only player locked into place is Rashad White. If he's available, league winner, go get him. What are you even doing? Grab him. You should already own him. We've been talking about him like crazy. Khalil Herbert needs to be in this conversation. Not putting him 4 yet. I'm just moving all these guys over. The next potential player, I'll get to all the super chats. Don't worry, guys. We'll get to every super chat. I'll go in order so that you guys can get taken care of. Tyler Algiere needs to be talked about. I don't know what order we're going. Algier Pacheco needs to be talked about. These are all potential win-a-league players. RGB joining the YouTube memberships. If you want to do that, jump over. I'll put the link in. RGB joining the YouTube memberships. RGB, appreciate you, good buddy. Let me drop that. Collusion joining the memberships as well. These might actually be renewals too. So appreciate you guys renewing and getting in there. Here's the link if you would like to become a YouTube exclusive member. I dropped it in the live chat, and I'm going to pin that bad boy right now. Collusion, Zach, everybody joining and re-upping. Appreciate you guys. You guys are going to the moon. Who is number 2? Rashad White's number 1. Kenneth Walker is number 0. Like, I don't want to say 0. MJ as well, renewing. Thank you, MJ. I'm not saying 0 in a bad way. I'm saying he's like the person that if he's available, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Walker is absolutely the top guy. So I don't know if Wesley thinks that I'm not saying that, Wesley. Walker greater than, of course, Walker's greater. Wesley, that's the whole point. That's why he's sitting right up here. Rashad White, number 1 of the likely, Wesley, the likely adds. Kenneth Walker's there to show. Thor Bear renewing. Appreciate Thor Bear. Appreciate you, big guy. You're the man. What's up? What? Smitty, Twitter, Kenny. What? Grind. Appreciate you becoming a YouTube exclusive member. I think this is. Let me see if there's anybody else on screen that I think is worthy of being put here. I think likely needs to be in this conversation. He's gonna probably rank down here because he is not currently the starter. Tatty, appreciate you renewing up today. But this is a guy likely that needs to be in this conversation. I believe these are the top dogs. Pickens kind of needs to be in this conversation at the bottom, I believe. Brian Robinson also needs to. Navage, appreciate you re-upping today too. I almost gotta move this out of the way because all these re-ups are gonna be showing right here. I appreciate all the re-ups. Brian Robinson needs to be in this conversation too. Yeah, I know he's on IR, but the guy's got tremendous upside. So what do we do? Where are we moving? Who are we moving to the number 2 spot? I would love to know what you guys think of the 2 spot. We got Dobbs on here right here. Dobbs is right here, but I don't know that he's going to be in the top 5. I love Nico Collins. Jalen Warren needs to be grabbed. He's the number 2 officially in Pittsburgh. Alec Pierce has a lot of upside. Danny Gray later has upside. Jody Fortston if Kelsey goes down. Davis Mills is probably in this conversation as well if he's available and you need a quarterback. Malik Willis is in Superflex or any kind of situation where you need a quarterback and you did a really bad job. You did a really bad job of backing up your QB1. Malik Willis is going to potentially be a savior for a lot of people. And in Superflex leagues, if he's available on waivers, he's number 2 or 1. If Malik Willis is available in Superflex, even if it's redraft, on waivers, Malik Willis is number 2 or number 1 in Superflex. Do you hear what I'm saying? This guy's coming in eventually. I don't want to hear that Tannehill's holding Malik Willis off. You think that, I don't know how to help you. I'll just say that. Malik Willis in Superflex is 1 or 2. We're going to put him right here. We'll put him right here. He's absolutely in this conversation. Who do we like right here the most walking into 2022? Is it Algiere? Is it Pacheco? Is it Khalil Herbert? Is it Eno Benjamin, who we also need to add? Definitely. I've been talking him up on the Fantasy Football Show a ton. He's such a good running back that I think eventually gets a shot. Benjamin definitely needs to be on this list. I won't put him in the top 5, but he's one of those sneaky ones that later on could become one of the better pickups of the year. Definitely could see, like, after week 1, let's say Connor goes down, he could be 9. Eno Benjamin could be 9. if Connor went down in week 1, Eno Benjamin walking into week number 2 the waiver wire show for week 2 could be a 9. One of the best pickups of the year, the Eli Mitchell of 2022. If you own Connor, you must own and cuff Eno Benjamin. Absolute monster. Tyler Algiere, Pacheco easily. Dotson. Burks isn't traditionally on waivers, so I'm not putting him on here. He's owned in pretty much all leagues. Algiere, Pacheco number 2. It's kind of a tie between Pacheco and Algiere. I don't know that one can really make a strong case of one over the other without like flip-flopping. I think these two are kind of tied for the top two spot. Or tied for second. Algiere is a very good runner, and I think that the Atlanta Falcons will impress a little bit. I think they'll impress a little bit, not winning a ton of games, but like they can hold their own in certain games. They can score points. They can move the ball down the field a lot more than people expected. So Tyler Algiere will be a big component in that. I think they want to move Cordero Patterson. We've heard it a thousand times already, that Cordero Patterson's going to be moving down. I don't understand this one, Stack Attack. Gallup's going to eat as well? What even makes you think, what makes you think Gallup's going to stay healthy? I'm not going near. I'd almost bet, that would be one of the, if I saw a prop for Gallup playing by mid-season and not being out for the season, I would take that prop. Gallup is such an injury risk. There's no way Gallup's even close to he's not even on my list, period. I wouldn't even draft Gallup. I don't trust Gallup. Could I be proven wrong? Sure. But there's no way I'm even going near Gallup. Gallup is the worst idea of somebody to count on. Tyler Algiere, trust your gut though, Attack. I'm just telling you my opinion. Isaiah Pacheco and Algiere tied for the 2 spot. I'm going to say Khalil Herbert and Zemir White are tied for the 3 spot. I hate to throw ties on here, but really it is that close, and we're really awaiting an injury or opportunity that no one can really predict in order for these guys to get in there. The pecking order could go, the wind could blow a certain way, and I could rank Pacheco 1 or Pacheco 2. Rashad White's locked in at 1, but Pacheco could be 2, Algiere could be 3, or Algiere could be 2, and Pacheco could be 3. Zamir White moving up the depth chart even a little bit moves him up. I'm going to get to all the super chats in a minute. Herbert could be the number 2. Look, if Monty went down in week 1, Khalil Herbert, 9 out of 10 on the confidence scale. If Clyde went down in week 1, Pacheco, 9 or 10 out of 10 on the confidence scale. It comes down to injury. We're trying to predict the opportunity. The only guy here that has the opportunity in his grasp without an injury needing to take place is Tyler Algiere. That's why he kind of ranks a nudge above Pacheco in that tie for the number 2 spot. Khalil Herbert, I would say, because he's kind of got a role already, might get a nudge over Zamir White in that 3 spot. I think Isaiah Likely and Davis Mills are guys that you might not be using in week 1, but they're so good preemptively to go get. Isaiah Likely's the rookie tight end for the Baltimore Ravens, and they may use him as the wide receiver 3, some reports say, so it's not like he has to wait for an injury. Isaiah Likely, I'm scooping up in every single league. I don't care if it's redraft or dynasty. Smitty, are you really picking up Isaiah Likely and starting him? No, redraft Bob. I'm not doing that, redraft Bob. I'm picking up Likely as my number 2 backup tight end over a Hunter Henry or some guy with limited upside that I don't really care about, okay? I'll take Likely, let him sit on my bench, and by the time I need him, when my tight end either gets hurt or has a bye week, we will know what Likely is. We will have a good idea how Likely will be in terms of a stud potential breakout player. Likely is amazing, and if Andrews goes down, which isn't a crazy thought when you consider that this team got rid of their number 1 wide receiver, and Andrews will be facing double teams and harder hits than ever before. It's not crazy to imagine him getting banged up this year versus other years when his defensive attention is going through the roof. And so if Andrews were to go down, Isaiah Likely would be a top 5 tight end. So it's worth letting a Hunter Henry go as your number 2 tight end or whoever and grabbing Likely and just waiting on him. I love Likely and Mills. They should be grabbed at all costs. So I'd say George Pickens is, you could argue him at 3 if you needed a wide receiver. We'll put B-Rob and Pickens tied for this 4 spot. B-Rob can be grabbed. What's amazing about B-Rob is he almost doesn't even qualify as the same player as these guys, because you can grab B-Rob, grab him, and put him right on your IR spot. In some leagues, you don't even have to make a cut. You just grab him, and it says, do you want to add him to IR? You put him on IR. He goes right onto IR. He costs you no drop at all, no roster space at all, and you sit on him. And I know you're going to say, but how is he going to play? We don't know, but there's still a real strong chance he comes in and plays. And yes, Brobsty is completely right. If you own Andrews and you're not cuffing him to Likely, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm telling you, he's a standalone top potential 5 waiver wire add preemptively before week 1 starts, and you're actually considering drafting Andrews and not cuffing him to Isaiah Likely? What is wrong with you? Eno Benjamin, I'm gonna rank these guys on the left side of the screen after this, so I'm going to move everybody over. I know this is a little high, but I just like him so much. I'm putting Eno Benjamin down here, kind of tied for 5th, 6th. I just love Eno Benjamin. He's so exciting. I'm in Arizona. I've got a little bit of a pulse. I got the temperature of stuff in Arizona a little bit more than the average bear. And I'll tell you that I'm hearing good things about Eno Benjamin. They love this kid. And if anybody says, what about Daryl? What about Daryl Henderson, Smitty? He was talk of trade or cut. So that tells me he's 3rd on the pecking order. Not that he could climb up, not that Benjamin couldn't get banged up and then not be in the number 2 spot. But if you remember back to last year and the way the Cardinals like to operate, they like to have 2 running backs that they rotate. And they like the Chase Edmonds and, the combination of Connor, Chase Edmonds, 1-2 punch. And so Eno Benjamin's going to get that role where he may be the Chase Edmonds walking into week 1. We might see a lot of Eno Benjamin in week 1, and this guy's going to be impossible to get cheaply coming into week 2. So we may want to grab this kid and make sure you own him. Number 1 on the side list, I'd probably say Nico Collins. I love a lot. Dobbs is going to climb up depth charts pretty quickly. Gainwell's interesting. You could even say Gainwell I'm going to put Gainwell / Scott, because if can I make a prediction here? I feel like Scott. I feel like if you told me, hey Smitty, tell me a random player, not a big name player, a random player you think will score a touchdown in week 1, I'd say Boston Scott. I could just see looking up at the TV, Boston Scott. Who's that? Who got that touchdown? Guy runs in the end zone, turns, and then you see his jersey, and it's Scott. I just feel like Boston Scott's going to score a touchdown. I don't know why. You have those weird feelings. I feel like that's going to happen. But Gainwell, Scott, I'm not saying pick up Scott. I'm just saying Ty Davis Price is interesting, but because right now he's not the number 2, it's a preemptive move. It makes it hard to rank him there. I'd say Jalen Warren, you need to cuff him if you own Najee Harris. You got to own him. I love Alec Pierce. I think Alec Pierce is phenomenal. I kind of like Tua needs to be grabbed if available in your league, and you need a quarterback. He's not always available, but somebody brought it up and I looked at it and he was available in a large percentage of the leagues, and it made sense with everything else here. Fortson I like a lot. If you own Travis Kelce, you have to own this Jody Fortson kid. Similar to Likely, he just explode. I love Khalil Shakir. Isaiah McKenzie's available in a lot of leagues. These guys kind of go hand in hand. I like Danny Gray for later. I like Ty Davis Price for later. I like Tolbert for later. Malik Willis is right here. He needs to be added to this side of the equation, mainly because I don't want Superflex people to forget about him. He is ranking at 1 or 2 in Superflex if he's available. But even if you botch your quarterback decision making, you might want to look at Malik Willis as a potential preemptive stash. Think about it. He's not the starter right now, okay? But if you've got a quarterback situation that's not going to need to be addressed, like you have a quarterback that has a bye in week 8, week 14. A lot of people have week 14 buys, week 9 buys. If you have a quarterback that is a bye in week 14, answer this question. Answer me this question. Would you rather have a quarterback like Tannehill or a quarterback like, I don't know, throw out a mediocre name. I don't care who it is. Would you rather have that mediocre quarterback? And do you really think that by week 14, Malik Willis isn't in there firing on all cylinders? And even if he's got to improve on accuracy, and even if he's got to improve on this and that, do you really believe Malik Willis isn't going to be a 60 and a touchdown on the ground type of player for you in week 14 when you need him? I like him. I don't care if he's not starting. Be ahead of the curve, Bob. Think ahead of the curve. Don't be holding to the usual ways of, oh, he picked up a guy that's not even starting. Let your league mates laugh at you. Who cares? Be preemptive. You don't need him till week 9 or week 14. He's going to be there for you. Be preemptive, Bob. Be preemptive. That is the waiver wire ads for week number 1, preemptive style, with Rashad White coming in as number 1, assuming Walker isn't mistakenly dropped. Walker would be a 9.5 to 10 out of 10, probably a 10 out of 10 if available. I put him here just so you know, in case he's available in your league, just in case. Okay, I put him there. I don't want him to be a focal point here because he's not likely available. But let's say Rashad White is available in your league. He's the number 1 ad for 2022. There is no better ad right now on the table right now with what we know now. This could change coming out of week 1. It could be some amazing riser. Maybe Zamir White is starting by the end of week 1, even though he looks like he's 4th on the depth chart. Any one of these scenarios could change. There could be a new player. I even put Eno Benjamin down here. Connor could go down at week 1. Eno Benjamin will be the top pickup of the year. Okay, I've got them all here ranked in priority, in order of what we think probably will happen. But I'm telling you right now, we're getting to super chats next. Rashad White is the best pickup of the year. If he's available in your league, go get him now. He's an 8.5 out of 10, which is the highest rating I've given out so far in my 3 preemptive week 1 waiver wire shows. This is the last one. This is the refresh. This is the final one before week 1 kicks off. And Rashad White is the man, the myth, the legend, the number 1 ad for 2022. So far. One final look at it for people in the back that are just coming in. Here it is. Soak it in. Take it in. Go hit your waiver wire. Get it done. Let's go to the super chats. I appreciate everybody being here. Let's get to these super chats and let's get to them now. So this is the Waiver Wire Show. Appreciate everybody being here. Let's go to the very top. I mean, we got some super chats for days here, and we're going to get to this stuff. First in the building was Michael K. CPA and Slayer, Blackbeard, James F. Meet the Woo, Brandon. Appreciate you all. Nathan, Jeb, Sean, Sandu, James, all you guys. Appreciate you coming in here and firing off and making the show the best show on the planet. Okay, we're taking this channel to 20K by December. And it's because of you. I work for you, and we're going to do it live. Okay? We're doing it live. Appreciate you. Rock out with the first super chat. Rock out. Thank you very much. 500 people in the room right now. And we've got to 220 thumbs up. It's pretty impressive. I wouldn't mind getting those numbers more matching up. But, I mean, I can't complain. You guys are amazing. 500 people watching right now. Let's go. Let's go. This show's going somewhere. We're taking this thing to the promised land. You hear me? You hear me? Rock out says, Smitty. Check out my voicemail on the live chat. Okay, Rock Out, I will. Appreciate you dropping your super chat, good buddy. This one's from Who Dat, What That. I always have trouble reading that name for some reason, just off the top of my head when I see it. 10-team work league, Lamar or Rodgers. I mean, you're gonna go Lamar. I just worry about him. Make sure you back him up. He's gained 18 pounds. He lost his number 1 wide receiver. They're trying to change the offense to a run-heavy system, which would incorporate him, given that they've got an all-ACL running back team, an all-ACL running back room, and you got Lamar gaining 18 pounds. Why? It's like putting on armor. What's he doing? He's gonna go run more than 155 times a season now? He was on pace for 190, and then he got hurt. He got hurt last year. He's disappointed 2 years in a row. I worry about Lamar. Do I like Aaron Rodgers? I do. Do I like Lamar more? Draft capital wise, you kind of got to take him, but would I take somebody else where you're taking Lamar and take Aaron Rodgers later? I probably would prefer that approach, to be honest. Aaron Jones, Javonte. Oh, who you starting week 1 is probably your question. Week 1, I'd have to say, Lamar for week 1. Lamar for week 1. We got to see what's going on with Aaron Rodgers in this offense, too. As far as Jones, Javonte, JJ, AJ Brown, St. Brown, Pitts, Pollard, Zemir White, very, very good team. You really can't make too many moves. You could upgrade Aaron Jones if you wanted, but using what? You kind of got to wait. I love Kyle Pitts, love St. Brown, love Pollard on the bench, love Zamir White. Make sure Rashad White's not available. Fantastic team, but I'll go Lamar. I'll go Lamar in week 1, pal. I'll go Lamar. Next question's from Overcome with a 5. We're going to start doing standing O's on the $10 haulers and above, not the 5, only because I've got some complaints that I'm hitting the button too much, and if we got too many super chats that are 5. So $10 haulers and above get a standing ovation. I'm sorry, just to keep it so the flow of the show doesn't get broken up too much. Will my league accept me trading away Elliott and Pollard for Javonte or Hall? The Hall trade's not going to raise any eyebrows. Some people might say Elliott and Pollard are better than Hall. I like Hall more, but it's a ahead of the curve move. Hall is sharing the carries, so it could be looked at as a bad trade, and people are saying that you're getting taken advantage of, even though I like Hall more. Now Javonte, you can't tell somebody what to do. Elliott goes in top of round 3 sometimes, and you're getting Javonte. Javonte could go in round 2 or the bottom of round or the top of round 3. Elliott and Javonte have gone in the same place in some drafts. You got to remember how high we are on Javonte Williams. Not everybody's as high. No one should have a problem with this trade. You are absolutely blasting him if you get Javonte Williams, but that's not a vetoable trade, nor should vetoes even take place. I hate vetoes. I think vetoes are dumb. You're a grown person and you're paying an entry fee to play in a league the way you want to play. You should not be vetoing trades. And if you got people in your league that will actually veto or that need vetoes, then you got the wrong people in your league. You know what I'm saying, broski? So stay away from that. 10-man PPR: Lance, CMC, Javonte, Hill, Sutton, Komet, Etienne, benches: Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Damian Pierce, Hopkins, Pickens, Burks, Algiere, B-Rob. How did you do? You did fantastic. You did really, really well, my friend. Lance, CMC, Javonte, Hill, Sutton, I love it. Etienne, bench, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. How's Amon-Ra, St. Brown even on the bench? Could you make an upgrade? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, Damian Pierce needs to be in your lineup. Who do I trade? Would I trade Sutton and maybe Hopkins to upgrade Sutton a tiny bit? I actually like Sutton a lot. I'm liking Sutton more and more and more. But could you make that little upgrade? I probably would. I'd look to do that. But you got an 8 or a 9 out of 10 with that team, considering the depth and what you got going on. You don't need to make a trade, but I would look to upgrade Sutton using Hopkins or a smaller piece like that. I also want Pierce in that lineup somehow. I'd be tempted to explore how to get Pierce in there, but I mean that's tough because you got a really good team. It looks like a 3-man league. Thank you, Nigel. Nigel says hit that like button for CeeDee Lamb. Hit that like button, says Nigel. Do it live.
Get lambed.
Appreciate Nigel. Nigel is the man. Appreciate you, Nigel. Next question is from Western. Western says, do I drop James Cook for White? That is a tough one. I don't think you can drop James Cook. There's got to be another way, Western. There's got to be another way. That's your worst player. James Cook is a potential, he would be a guy that you want to pick up if he hit waivers. I don't like that move, but I'm not going to tell you not to go get White. There's got to be another way. Derek says 0.5 PPR Chase for Tyreek, Sutton, and Waddle. Jamar Chase for Tyreek Hill, Sutton, and Waddle. If it's Dynasty, I have a hard time doing it. I do, and I'd say no. If it's redraft, it depends on your bench spots, bro. Like if you've got the ability to start all these guys, then it makes sense to do it. If you can only start Tyreek Hill and Sutton and Waddle are very close to you, like you got Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and you only start 2 wide receivers or some weird combination, then while it looks great on paper, the amount of talent you're getting is astronomical. I don't know that it's got to make sense for your lineup too. So I would say if you can use these players, then yes. If you're only using one of them on top of Tyreek, so you're starting Tyreek and Sutton, but on the other hand, you got Jamar Chase and a very decent guy you're putting on the bench, then it doesn't make sense for your lineup. Maybe you could use it to trade. It sure is a lot of talent. ETN, Metcalf, or Keenan Allen, Singletary. Give me ETN and Metcalf, and it's not even close, bro. Not even close. Russian collusion with the $2 hauler. Smitty, what did you smoke today? Nothing. I don't smoke. I don't really even drink collusion. Okay? I'm high on fantasy football and life, bro. This one is from Q. Q says, should I trade Barkley, Lockett, Knox, Stafford, and Gibson for Chase, Pitts, Pierce, and Joe Burrow? Barkley, Lockett, Knox, Stafford. Q, only make that trade if you like winning. If you like winning, I would go get the Kyle Pitts, Pierce, Burrow side of that trade. If you like winning. But no one's forcing you. Amazing. Some of these trades that you guys can pull off are absolutely crazy. And I wish I was in leagues where I could get this done. CMC for Javonte and Kittle, I smash it. If you need Kittle and you got no tight end, smash it. Because let me tell you something. I don't care what people say about CMC versus Javonte. I don't care. Now that the season's over, values are going to be different. You, young man, go get Kittle. Go get Javonte, who I like better than CMC anyway. At me all you want. Smash that trade and get some, bro. Nigel with the super chat. Nigel says, what's Nigel say? I believe in the Javonte rocket to the moon. I did what many would say was a stupid pick. I had the 5th pick and I took JJ in the 1st round in a 12-teamer and took Javonte in the 2nd round. Why would that be considered stupid? I don't understand. Nigel, that's not stupid. Nobody thinks that's stupid. You're making up stuff. You did an absolutely amazing job. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. But stop telling fairy tales and stories about you doing stuff that no one thinks you should do. That's exactly what you should have done. And you did an amazing job doing it, Nigel. Pat yourself on the back. Johnny with the super chat. 10-team PPR, Diggs, Javonte, AJ Brown, ETN, Mike Williams, Pierce, Burrow, Dillon, Elijah Moore, Hopkins, Pickens, Freiermuth, Stevenson, B-Rob, Rashad White. Got the Rashad White.
To the moon.
Attaboy, broski, Rashad White. 10-teamer. I mean, look, Diggs, AJ Brown. Those wide receivers are off the hook. Javonte and ETN. And you got Damian Pierce. How can you do better than that? Burrow, A.J. Dillon on the bench. The only thing I can even think to do, bro, is to upgrade Mike Williams using Dillon. Mike Williams using Hopkins. Mike Williams using Stevenson. And at a player you could upgrade him to, maybe a Tyreek Hill, a Debo, something like that. Past that, you got a really good team. Let it ride. Let those guys gain value, and you should have some amazing trade bait on your hands. More super chats to come. Pile them in, and I'll get to them. Another $5 hauler from Michael. PPR Superflex, a guy auto-drafted his team. Auto-draft.
Wrong.
People are getting burrowed left and right, and people auto-drafted. This guy auto-drafted in your league. What's he doing? He didn't get a QB. I think that sucks, man. What a horrible auto-draft tool. You know what I mean? This guy doesn't have a QB. We'll keep drafting non-QBs. We won't give him anybody. How does the auto-draft algorithm not give this man a QB? Didn't draft a QB, wants Lance and Javonte for CMC and a pick. No, Michael, I like Javonte more than I like CMC. You're not giving this guy auto-drafted, and he's going to walk away with Lance and Javonte from you? Absolutely. Let's just make sure I read that right. I'm not sending him on an unnecessary lap. He wants Lance and Javonte for his CMC. No, bro. I don't trade him Javonte straight up for his CMC. You know what I'm saying, broski? That's a negatory. No, sir. Landon with the next question here. The $5 hauler. Appreciate you. Landon says, hey, Smitty, thanks for the fire content. 10-man PPR trade Waddle and Eli Mitchell to get Debo. Waddle and Eli Mitchell to get Debo. I already have Tyreek Hill. Waddle, here's the thing. That is a lot to give up. I don't know that feels like an ultra smart on paper move, but it ultimately depends on what you got on your bench. If you got a Pierce, you're trying to get into the lineup. If you've got an A.J. Dillon, you're trying to get into the lineup. Then it makes a lot of sense to upgrade your number one player. Could Waddle be as good as Debo all by himself? Maybe, but not likely, but maybe. It's possible. This is the kind of trade I would look to acquire if you needed to get more depth and you wanted to trade Debo away. I think Waddle and Mitchell would actually be a pretty good package. So I'd say all in all, it's a good value for him. The question is, how good is it for your lineup? That's the only way it would make me say yes, because you are paying the price, and that is the kind of package I would construct for somebody. So that's a tough one. This super chat from Steven, ETN traded ETN Knox for Pitts in a PPR. I'm not liking that, and I'll say this: I traded ETN and Knox for Pitts in a P. I like Knox enough that I would not want to be trading ETN away. Not to mention Kyle Pitts and ETN go in the same round. They're both third rounders, and you're giving up Knox for free. I could see myself drafting Pitts over ETN over Pitts. So 1 for 1 would make sense, but the fact that you're giving up, I think, a top 6 tight end and Dawson Knox, I don't like that. Steven, I'm not going to make you take a lap because it's totally arguable, but I'm going to say if you brought that to me earlier, I would have said. You've
just been Smitty disapproved.
But Steven, your super chat, the fact that you own Kyle Pitts at all, that is Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Because Kyle Pitts is a monster. Okay, so don't fret. I'm not totally against the trade. I just would have Smitty disapproved it had you asked me before. $10 holler. Appreciate you, good buddy. This one right here. Is that music good? I don't know if it's too loud. I can't tell sometimes. Let me know if that music isn't too loud. By the time I see your comment, it might be a little late. JV, rate my 12-man team. Hurts, Nixon. Who's this Nixon character? Hurts, Mixon, Swift, Saquon, Hollywood Brown, Juju, Dalton, Schultz, Matt, bench, Trey, Derek Carr, Rashad, Bateman, Gallup. I don't like Gallup at all. Pick up one of the waiver wire guys instead of Gallup. This is a good team. Bateman's a good trade piece. So Bateman and let's say a Saquon for what? Bateman and Saquon for what? What can you get? Can you get a Javonte? Can you get a Najee? Can you get a Swift type, even though you already have Swift? I like this team a lot. What you did, though, is you sacrificed the wide receivers to get the triple stack running back crew. And if you like that, that's your style. I'm not going to tell you to get rid of it. But I think given that you have Mixon and Swift and Saquon, you could potentially trade Saquon for a Tyreek Hill. You could trade him for a Debo. You could trade Saquon for a Diggs type player, even if you had to give up something smaller. I would do that because I think everybody coming out of a draft is going to have that like sense of regret. I should have got another running back, or a lot of people will. So you can pretty much go get any wide receiver that was drafted ahead of Barkley within 1 or 2 or 3 spots because running backs are a scarcity. People freak out about it. I think you could easily make that trade. Even if you don't, you're in good shape, but I think I would try and balance the scale a little bit because you ended up with 3 big running backs that you can trade. But that's a good team. I think you're in a driver's seat to be in a top 4 team. Just hit that waiver wire. Be that guy that gets that difference maker. And if you do, you're going to be in the thick of it, okay? But you probably are, based on the look of it, you probably are, I would say, like tied with everybody in terms of the top 4 or 5 guys. Like I think 4 or 5 of you are probably really, really close together. Joe with the $5 hauler. Superflex, would you trade A.J. Dillon, Pollard, Madison, and Daniel Jones for Cousins and J-Rob? James Robinson? I'm not trying to acquire J-Rob, bro. Dillon, Pollard, Madison, and Daniel Jones. My other running backs are ETN and Mitchell. Only have Patty and DJ too. Superflex. This is tough because Cousins versus Daniel Jones. I don't like Daniel Jones. Here's my thing. If Malik Willis is available, I pick him up and I don't do this trade. Malik Willis will be your savior in Superflex if he's available. I'm telling you right now. Davis Mills, he's probably not available, but maybe you could acquire him for cheap. I don't like getting rid of Dillon and Pollard. I don't mind Cousins. I like Cousins a lot. This is a very tough situation in Superflex. Very, very tough. But you got to ask yourself, is Cousins that big? Would I rather you keep A.J. Dillon and have him as your super flex? You know what I mean? Like, Cousins will probably score a lot more, but if Malik Willis is there, grab him. Now, if Malik Willis is not there, I suppose I make the trade for Cousins if literally that's going to be your QB2. But I'd rather you get Malik Willis. Hopefully Malik Willis is there. Cali Loco with the $20 hauler. Cali Loco with the $20 hauler. Cali, appreciate you. Good, buddy. Look at this. I got a new song and I want to talk to you about my team and trade. Can I call in? Cali, you certainly can. Cali, dial in right now. We're going to hang up on everybody that isn't Cali. I got to get through these super chats too. So, Cali, appreciate you. Cali Loco is going to be calling in here any second. Let me open up the phone lines. Logan Thomas is a late season winner, says AJ. Thank you, AJ, for the super chat and the tip. I'm going to go ahead and say there are a couple players like that. Likely is the guy. Fortson is another guy to look at. I don't know if you can grab Fortson yet. Loco, go ahead and dial into the show. Dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Call in, Loco. Logan Thomas, okay? Okay, Logan Thomas. I don't trust him, to be honest. I don't trust Logan Thomas. Joseph with a super chat. Hey, Smitty, new to the show. New to the show? You're not Cali Loco. Okay, hey, Smitty, new to the show. Oh, let me go back to that. Zach, your name's not Cali Loco.
Is it okay if I call in? Or
make it quick because I got to get through these super chats. But sure, go ahead. What can I help you with, Zach? You're live, by the way.
Okay, no worries. I'm in this 4-keeper dynasty type league right now, and I was wondering, should I pick up Rashad White and drop Alec Pierce, or would you drop Zemir White, or what would be your move there?
Are you likely to need to use Alec Pierce? I like him a lot.
I mean, the players that I would drop would be Josh Palmer, Alec Pierce, or Zamir White, probably.
I'd probably drop Zamir White for right now if you need the wide receiver help. If you don't need the wide receiver help, you could keep the 2 RBs and hope that that's where your league winning potential is going to be from. I don't think Alec Pierce is going to win a league, but if you need a wide receiver 3 in a pinch, he's a really good one. Zamir White and Rashad White could both be nothing, or they could be league winners. Alec Pierce probably can't be a league winner. So it's kind of up to you.
And one other quick question. Do you think Sony Michel is a good pickup? Would you rather have him over Eno Benjamin?
Sony Michel over Eno Benjamin? No, I'd rather have Eno Benjamin myself. But I mean, look, an injury happens to Eckler or Connor, and it vaults that person up. You know what I mean? So like it's hard to predict, but I would say give me Eno Benjamin right now. Can't say that will 100% be the way I feel an hour from now. You know, but yeah, for now.
All right, for sure. Thanks, Mitty.
All right, appreciate you, man. Zach, you can call back when we open the phone lines up again. Loco, dial in, bro. Hey, Smitty, new to the show. Appreciate you, Joseph. New to the show. I want Javonte or Barkley. I have Evans, Mike Williams, Sutton, Edmonds, Stevenson to trade. How should I go about it? I think you could probably trade. You have Evans, Mike Williams, Sutton, Edmonds. I don't know if you're going to be able to get... I mean, you'd have to trade like Evans and... I don't even think you could... Evans and Edmonds? Evans and Edmonds for Javonte. I don't really want Barkley myself, so it's hard for me to tell you what to do there. But, I mean, you could trade Mike Williams and Edmonds for either one of them. That might get it done. I mean, might not. Mike Evans is going in round 4 sometimes. So if anybody says you can't give up Edmonds and Mike Williams to get Javonte, who sometimes goes in round 3... Kelly Loco! You are live on the Fantasy Football Show, Kelly Loco. Appreciate your $20 hauler. Let's give Kelly Loco a round of applause. What's up, my man?
I'm excited. I'm excited over here dealing with the heat.
Yeah?
Got a heat wave.
Heat waves are freaking you out?
I have my one of my new drafts. I got asked to be in a draft. It was yesterday, so I wanted to go over that. But I got a song, and this, for all the guys doing the songs, man, rock out. I love the guy, man.
Hey, real quickly,
I'm old school. I got more.
Okay, hold on.
This is in honor of him.
It's original, right? You're not playing some kind of other song, right?
No, just like the last time. I'm just singing the words.
Okay, go ahead. Let's go. Hold on. Let me kill the music. Let me set the tone. Ziggy, studio off. Okay, I set the tone. The lights are down low. Go ahead and serenade me.
All right, here we go. For a little background, this is about Pierce. I told you before, I want to make sure Lovey does a good job and, plays this young man, and I think he will. And I got sniped out of this last draft, but I got my Pierce and that thought wave.
Okay, go.
Here we go. Pierce, give me Pierce, give me Pierce. Pierce, give me Pierce. When you need someone that will get the job done. When you're looking around for a man that can run. If you need a son running back, you better know about him. When you're looking around for your young gun, give me Pierce, Pierce, give me Pierce. Love me, you better set him free, set Pierce free, set him free, set Pierce free. You got it.
Bro, our follower count just went from 522 to 497. Is that bad?
Yeah. Well, I told when I got to rock out, that was in honor of rock out. I love him, man.
Okay.
I love your show.
I appreciate you, Loco. Thanks for calling in. Go, Damian Pierce.
Hold on, I want to talk to you about my team real quick.
Okay, hit me with it. Before
right,
we leave, we went from 522 to 469, bro. What's going on?
Here we go.
All right.
So, of course, I was going for tripod.
Okay.
But I had snipers and shit, so I almost got the quad pod. But here we go.
Okay.
I got quarterbacks, Joe Burrow and Dak Prescott. I saw your last video about optimal scoring. So.
Okay.
After I got sniped out of another quarterback, I added Dak Prescott. I got DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams, bam, bam.
Nice.
Javonte.
Nice.
A.J. Brown, Mike Williams, Gabe Davis, and then right before I was about to hit tight end, I got Hunter Henry because I got knocked out. I want to go get knocked. That's
bro,
what the trade called
that's an amazing
and
team.
then I got on the bench, I got A.J. Dillon, Mooney, Michael Carter, Alexander Madison, Isaiah McKenzie, Logan Thomas, and of course I got my moon man Brian Robinson and Jamison Williams. Because I can stash them on the IR, so that's why I'm ready to.
Awesome job. It sounds like a four-man league. But hey, I got to get back to these super chats. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you for the serenation. You're the man. Good team.
All right.
Good team. There's nothing to even do. Your team's loaded. You're playing with like grandmas there. It's like a four-man league. Great job, right. Javonte. Bang bang.
That's right.
All right, later.
Swift and Javonte going to Mars.
Give me a Javonte bang bang one more time.
Hey, Swift and Javonte, that's bang bang going to Mars.
All right, call in anytime, Loco. Later.
All
right. I think that look, we lost a lot of viewers during that. We went from 520 to 400. 520 to 400. That cost me 100 viewers to let him come in here and serenade. I'm a little thrown off on that, Loco. You might need to make the song shorter next time, but okay, let's get back to it. For the people that stayed, I think they liked it, but Jake, okay, Small Engine Garage, what's up, my man? 10 team, number 9 spot, Mixon, Javonte, Pittman, Herbert, Mike Williams, Godwin, Thielen, Pierce, Melvin Gordon, Mitchell, Burks, Freiermuth, Parker, Tony, Lance. What are my thoughts on that? I'm going to say I like it a lot. I love the Javonte, Mixon, Pittman, Herbert, Mike Williams. It's very well-rounded. Dameon Pierce is the difference maker, unless that's Alec Pierce, but I think that's Dameon Pierce. So that's fantastic. He's technically, in my opinion, your running, your flex. You're locked in flex. Would I maybe try and upgrade Mixon into a Swift or a Najee or something? I would, but maybe you love Mixon as a top 8 overall guy. So if you do, don't even worry about it. Roll with it. Mitchell, you just got a lot of talent on the bench, like Mitchell and Mike Williams and Godwin. Mitchell, I don't like Godwin, but you can get rid of him. I would use Mitchell maybe as trade bait. Thielen and Mitchell for somebody. I'm trying to go get an A.J. Brown type of player to put into this lineup. A lot of trade potential there, Jake. You can make a lot of moves using that bench. I would definitely try and move some things around. Gonzalez says, what do you think of Elijah Moore and Marquise Hollywood Brown? I think they're very similar. I think you got to rank Hollywood Brown a little higher. He's got the number 1 job locked in for the first 6 weeks, and then we don't know what's in store for him. I think Elijah Moore is ready to set the league on fire. I think he's ready to prove people wrong. I think Elijah Moore is not somebody that people are going to see coming to the extent that he's going to bring it. He had an amazing finish. Him and St. Brown were very underrated last year. Everybody loves St. Brown, but everybody doesn't love Elijah Moore. So Elijah Moore is somebody that I'm coming in and grabbing as my wide receiver 4, or maybe sneaky good wide receiver 3, and I don't bat an eye. This guy's amazing. This guy's phenomenal. I love Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore is a fantastic player, but you're going to draft Hollywood above him. You're probably going to draft or start Hollywood above him. I think they're both very, very good wide receivers, very undervalued. Pierce dropping a super chat. Should I drop J-Rob for White? Absolutely. J-Rob is not a thing. Everybody needs to stop thinking J-Rob just because volume's going to potentially be there. That A's going to stay healthy, coming off a torn Achilles. The odds of J-Rob or the odds of, what's his name? Cam Akers. Yeah, that's his name. The odds of Cam Akers and J-Rob not suffering a further injury, not getting another leg injury, are extremely, the odds of them suffering a leg injury of any kind are extremely high. Hamstring, soft tissue, coming off an Achilles tear, the odds are extremely high that these guys are going to suffer some kind of lower leg injury or some kind of leg injury. So James Robinson, I'm not about owning or starting or using at all. Start David Montgomery or Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce by a mile. I almost click keys. Don't take this the wrong way. Taking laps is healthy. It's tough love. I'm your coach. I'm going to tell you to take a lap when you need to take a lap. Doesn't mean I don't appreciate or love you. And I love your question. I love your super chat. And I love that this is going to help a lot of people, because you're asking the question means a lot of other people are probably asking the question. Start David Montgomery or Dameon Pierce. Easy call, easy call. Give me Dameon Pierce all day long. Russian collusion with the $10 hauler. Appreciate you, collusion. Collusion says he's smoking a Cuban cigar because he's spitting championships. Money, 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 money. Thank you, collusion. Appreciate your super chat. Collusion's the man. The man, the myth. G-Money dropping a $10 hauler. G-Money, $10 hauler. G-Money says, I pulled off a trade. Derrick Henry for Javonte. I got Javonte straight up. Let's go. I don't mind this at all. You're going to get a lot of people that are going to scratch their heads, raise their eyebrows, tell you you're crazy. I'm telling you, I've got one more video, probably recording it tonight to release for tonight or tomorrow. Probably release tomorrow morning. Javonte Williams will, in my opinion, be the number 1 overall pick in 2023 fantasy football drafts. I think this is the JT. And if you came out and said that walking into this time last year, JT was getting taken at 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Big wide range that JT was getting taken. Big wide range JT was getting taken. And if you would have come out and said, hey, JT is going to be the number 1 pick by the end of the year, a lot of people would have said you're crazy. And they were going in very similar draft slots. So I love Javonte. I know this is maybe redraft, but I'm trying to emphasize how good of a season Javonte is going to have to earn you the number 1 overall pick in 2023 redraft leagues. G-Money, I'm going to tell you it's Smitty approved, and I don't care what anybody else says. Maybe you could have got a little more, though, G-Money, because King Henry's going in the top 5. But push comes to shove. You got to make the swap. You got to make this.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Appreciate you, D-Money, for that super chat, young sir. Kind sir. Saeed, trading Danny Dimes and a 2023 second and Ridley in Superflex Dynasty. For what, though? You didn't say for what. Trade Danny Dimes for a 2023 second and Ridley. Sure, I don't care about Danny Dimes. I don't want Danny Dimes at all. Pollard, make sure Malik Willis is not available. It's crazy how many leagues he's available in. Pollard for Pierce. Also, you're my favorite YouTuber. King, I can't break it to send you on a lap for this question then, because I'm your favorite YouTuber. So what am I gonna do? But I will say, had you not said that amazing line that I'm your favorite YouTuber, I would have said you got to get Pierce and not look back. I love Pollard, but Pierce is a potential 4th rounder right now, bro. You got to go get Pierce and run and pat yourself on the back if you get that done. You can't be high and do Smitty's job, bro. Who's saying I'm high? Why are people saying I'm high? Like, what's going on here? I'm seeing these comments once in a while. This is let's see, another one from Oscar. Oscar, appreciate it. Oscar, I don't see your question. I'll look for it as I go. Appreciate you. $10 holler from Nick. Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate that super chat. 400 people in here. Let's hit that 300 like mark. We got 291 thumbs up. Let's get that to match. 400 eyeballs in here now and 291 thumbs up. Let's punch it. Nick says, please rate my 12-team PPR, half PPR. 3 flex, 6 points per TD pass. Burrow. Love the Burrow in a 6 point per TD. Amazing job. This guy's going to throw 42 to 45 touchdowns in 2022. Burrow, Pitts, Higgins. Gabe Davis, Mooney instead of money. Mooney is money. Gabe Davis, Mooney, Higgins, Pitts, Burrow, London, Pickens, Dobbs, Gallup, CMC, Javonte, Ramondre, Henderson, Algiere. Man, you got CMC, Javonte, and you also have Pitts, you have Burrow, you have Higgins. You're fantastic. You got a great team, bro. Not much you can do in terms of trading. Would I contemplate trading like CMC for Swift and a DK or something like that, or Swift and an AJ Brown or something, and you had to give up maybe a James Cook back or something? Of course I would contemplate that. The work's never done. Okay, Nick, always entertain trades. Nobody's untouchable, except for maybe Javonte Williams. You know what I'm saying? Javonte, baby. Past that, everybody's tradable. Even Javonte probably is tradable. But you need some of these guys to gain value, like Ramondre, Henderson, Algiere. Not much movement you can do other than trying to divide up and break up CMC into something bigger. Or you trade someone like Gabe Davis and Ramondre or whatever. But I think I hang tight, roll that team out there. You got a really good squad. Higgins and Gabe Davis and Mooney are actually very, very undervalued wide receivers. I like that a lot. That's a really, really good squad. Zinski with the $5 hauler. Dak, Chubb, Pollard, JJ, Diggs, CD, Hollywood Brown, Bench, Kenneth Walker, Kirk Cousins, Lockett, Burks. Let's see here. Bench, Kenneth Walker. Okay. It's good. London, Carter, drop Michael Carter or Lockett for White. I don't know that you can do that. There's got to be another option. Your bench is so thin, bro. Or so shallow. I mean, honestly, like I want Rashad White over Michael Carter, but it's really hard to do that right now. It's really hard to do that because Michael Carter's getting touches, more so than White is, but I think that could swap. Zinski, I'm going to say trust your gut on it. It's very, very close. Michael Carter's a very good backup to have. Very, very close. 400 eyeballs, 305 likes in the building. I like it. Appreciate it. In my waiver, there is B-Rob and Algiere. Who should you pick up? Both of them. Because you can grab B-Rob and then put him on IR and then grab Algiere. If you can only grab one, if there's no IR spot, then I would pick up pick up Algiere instead of B-Rob and monitor B-Rob. But check your IR spot. Maybe you can grab both, bro. Don't even hesitate to try. Smitty, you missed the fact that You missed the fact he wants Lance and Javonte, and he's going to give me 2 wide receivers of choice. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, Michael. I did miss that, I guess. Okay, so 2 wide receivers of choice out of Debo, Deontay, DJ Moore, and Hollywood Brown, plus CMC. Okay, wait a minute. Smitty, you missed the fact that he wants Lance and Javonte, and he's going to give me 2 wide receivers of choice out of Debo, Deontay, Moore, and Hollywood Brown, plus CMC. Okay, so Lance and Javonte, 1 QB league though, right? I'm assuming it's a 1 QB league. He just got auto-drafted, if I remember correctly, so you're giving him a quarterback. So you get CMC, Debo, and DJ Moore probably, or Deontay. I would take that. I'm sorry if I misread that question. I will take a lap on that one, and I would take Debo and CMC, even though I love Javonte. Like Debo is a big ad, bro. Debo's a huge ad. If it's a 1 QB league, it's got to be a 1 QB league, or I'm out. I'm out because Lance has got so much value. Start 2 for flex. Brees, Pierce, T. Higgins, 12-man. Again, thank you for Michael for clarifying. Sorry if I misread that. Start 2. Sometimes I go too fast. Start 2 for a flex. Granted, there's a lot going on, bro. Brees and Pierce. Give me T. Higgins and Pierce until Brees gets his full workload. You know, that's a pretty easy call, Billy. Start 2 for flex, Pierce and T. Higgins. Boom. Easy. PPR, easy. And I love Brees, but I'm objective. I'm not biased when it comes to this stuff. Even if I love Brees Hall, I'm not going to be biased and give you a guide you the wrong direction because I love Brees Hall. You got T. Higgins and Pierce. You need to roll those out. Those are monsters. Have the best team name. It is spelled Rashad or Rashad. Have the best team name. Is it spelled Rashad or Rashad? That's your team name? I have Bateman and Rashad White. Loco vocals. LOL respect. Gotta make a Smitty idol and let me be a judge. We do need to have a Smitty idol. That would be pretty good. That would be pretty good. We could have Rock Out. We could have... Where's Asher been? He's been MIA for a while. I haven't got a song from Asher in a while. Interesting team name there, Miles. Okay. Interesting team name. I've heard some crazy team names lately. Some crazy ones. Jack with a $10 hauler. Jack said, Smitty, my main draft is from 45 minutes. Just got to sign the 5th pick. Plan is to go JT or Jamar Chase. You're not going to get JT the 5 pick. But it was my first. But I'm a little worried about Javonte won't fall to the 2nd round. What should I do? You can't take him at 5. I already explained that at the beginning. You can't take him at 5. It's just not the way it works. You could draft a Henry or a CMC and then trade for him later and get a whole lot more. It's just not smart business to be drafting somebody that's a 2nd round cemented, stapled player in the 2nd round. It's unfortunate you got that draft slot. You could try and trade the draft slot. I'd try and trade down. Would I trade 5 for the 12 to move my 5th rounder into round 3? Absolutely. And then take Javonte. But you can't take him at 5. It's just not the way. You can't do that, or you end up getting burned more times than not when you start playing way against the confines of ADP and where values are. And it's okay to reach, but that's not a reach. That's an entire round and a half reach in some cases. So Javonte is a 2nd round player for sure. I like Jefferson or Chase at the 5 pick if you're uneasy about going RB. I think Eckler's a nice, safe player. Najee I still consider. I'm not worried too much about the foot because he wouldn't have been out there in the preseason game if there was a Liz Frank injury at all. This is from Dante. Dante says, please rate my team. 12-man, 0.5 PPR, 3 wide receivers, no flex. Lance, JT, Javonte, killing it. A-Rob, Waddle, Bateman, Kelsey, bench, Dylan, Walker, Pickens, McKenzie, and Njoku Carr. Maybe you trade, I don't know, Bateman and potentially, let's see here, Dylan and Bateman for ETN, Dylan and Bateman for a player like that. You could maybe upgrade Waddle into Debo using Bateman. You might have to wait on Walker. You might even have to wait on Dylan to gain more value. Nothing wrong with rolling with that team in there, but that's what I would kind of look to do initially, just looking at it. I DM'd you also. Check. Okay, I'll check real quickly. 1 second, Rock Out. Here we go. Got a draft call in a minute. I got to jump.
Lights 50, Javonte sees the horizon. I've been going man, hit me on Verizon. Every time we get in, we be keep spitting bombs, freaking fire, burning hard. This is how we going on. They rumbling, stumbling through the end zone, touchdown, getting on. This is how we coming through. This is through the pack, Big Mac, Big Pack. We stacking like a Big Mac.
Thank you, Rock Out. Appreciate that voice message. Rock Out dropping it. He couldn't handle that someone else was rapping on his turf, so he came out and dropped fire. Appreciate you. Shoddy got a super chat there. Shoddy, thank you so much. I'll look for a question from you, Shoddy. Usually when you super chat, I look for your question, and if I don't see it, please post it. Always, if you do a super chat like that and you don't include the message, make sure you ask the question really close by so that I can look for it. Melvin Gordon, Damian Pierce, that is even though you super chatted, Jake, and I appreciate you, this is a tough love lap. It's not anything bad. Damian Pierce by a mile over Melvin Gordon for me. You could make the argument, maybe it's not lap worthy. Maybe I should take a lap for making you take a lap on that. But I definitely am starting Damian Pierce, no question about it. 12-man, 3 wide receiver ideas for trades. Burrow, Lance. I assume this is not a super flex because you didn't say it was. I don't think you did. Burrow, Lance, Najee, Swift, ETN, fantastic running backs. Like, you can't get much better than that. Walker, Zemir White, McLaurin, DK, Pickens. I really like your wide receivers. Knox and Likely are a very good tight end combo. I don't really feel the need to trade any of your running backs. And I think McLaurin and DK are very sufficient. I would let this team kind of gain value and roll in. I don't think I want to make any trades. I like it. I love Burrow. I love Lance. Wait for Walker to gain value. Wait for White to gain value. Maybe make sure Rashad White's not out there. I like him a little bit more than Zamir White at the moment. $10 holler from Jack. Jack dropping the super chat. Jack says, follow up to the other question. If Javonte doesn't fall to me in the second, who will you target? Going to be sad if he doesn't fall to me, but I feel like drafting Javonte at 5 overall is a little too high. It is, I would say, in the second round, it's tough because the running backs are tough. That's why I would maybe contemplate going running back with that 5 pick. I would consider Eckler just to make sure you get an RB if you don't think RBs will fall. Swift and Javonte don't fall very often. Your backup plan would probably be to go wide receiver if Tyreek Hill was there, Deebo Samuel was there. Lamb falls sometimes in weird ways, but I'm not reaching. I would definitely go ETN with my first RB in round 3 if I've got to go wide receiver. Don't force yourself to take a running back in round 2 and draft a position and not a player. That's when you should probably go back up and draft in retrospect of running back in that 5 spot if you feel like you're going to make the wrong decision based on the scarcity of the running back position. But appreciate your super chat, Jack. Appreciate you, Jack. Jack is the man. Jack to the moon.
To the moon.
Should I trade for Mike Evans? I have Javonte, Kelsey, Najee, Kyler already. My trade pieces include Christian Kirk, Elijah Moore, Woods, A.J. Dillon. Would I trade A.J. Dillon for Mike Evans? Sure. Would I give up anything like Elijah Moore, Christian Kirk in combination of that? Absolutely. Would I trade like Kelsey for Evans? I'd rather go after a different wide receiver, but I wouldn't be opposed to trading Kelsey if you could get like a Knox or you could get a Freiermuth or you get some combination of a player with Likely on the bench and then you just kind of roll with that value. But Kelsey could earn you the Debo, a Diggs potentially. People trade for Kelsey for a lot after the whistle blows and the draft's over. But Evans is not a big target of mine. I like Evans, but there are other wide receivers I like more than Evans. I'm not a huge, should I go get Evans guy? He's kind of always a guy that's a risk of getting banged up and hurt. Smitty, it was super flex league, not 1 QB. Michael says, Michael, I don't know what the question was at this point. It's let me go look. Let me see if I can find it, Michael. But I don't know what the question was anymore. We're talking about in one ear and out the other. But if it was a question of trading Lance, I think, then I probably wouldn't make that trade then. I think I made it clear that if it was super flex, no. So I think I answered that already just in case, So the answer is no. Rate my team. Thank you for the super chat, Swayze. Is this Swayze from the mock drafts on the best ball? Promo code Smitty using promo code Smitty. Go to Underdog. You still have time to get into these puppy fours. We're going to do some puppy four drafts tonight. Use promo code Smitty. Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. There's no reason you should leave this week without having some best ball drafts because it's the best way to protect your season. Let's see here. Antonio Gibson, Rashad Penny, Jefferson, Diggs, Kittle, Devontae Smith. Very, very good. I like Josh Allen. I like Jefferson. I like Diggs. I like Kittle. Your running backs, you got Gibson and Penny. That's a little weak. I'm not sure what to advise you to do other than to maybe trade away. Like I know you don't want to hear this, but I don't know that you're gonna dominate with Gibson and Penny as your running backs. You might have to give up JJ and go target a player that has like a like a Debo or Tyreek Hill and see what kind of running back upgrade you could get over like Penny, because if you could get an ETN in that, then I would make that trade, but you kind of got to explore that. I don't know that team's going to potentially win without that running back, but you don't want to give up and make the problem worse, give up, more. CD for ETN. I mean, CD Lamb is a top 12 to 14 overall pick. ETN's a third rounder in a reach capacity. So ETN is a reach at like 3.4, 3.5 to some people. CD Lamb's a top 12, top 14 overall player. So that's an easy trade to get CD Lamb. I'd rather have the CD Lamb side by a lot. Thoughts on Big Dog? I don't even know what that is, Howard. My running backs are, thank you for the super chat, Howard. I think I might know what you're talking about, but I don't have time for that stuff, Howard. I got my own stuff to worry about, Howard. My running backs are Swift, ETN, Pierce, Walker, and Penny. What are your thoughts on J-Rob situation? And thanks again, Howard, for the super chat. J-Rob situation. What J-Rob situation? He's coming off a torn Achilles tendon, and he's going to never be the same again, and it'll take him years to even get remotely close to it. Someone's got to take the first and second down work that ETN won't take because he's doing all the receiving. He's the Eckler of old, the old school Eckler, that would do amazing things in the PPR fashion. So Eckler, this is Eckler. ETN's like that kind of person. You don't need him running for 1,500 yards. He might run for 750 yards, and that's fine because he'll pull in 800 or 900 and get you 12 total touchdowns. Not worried whatsoever. Your running backs are Swift, ETN. Yeah, so I'm not even drafting J-Rob. I don't even want J-Rob. I'm not cuffing him to ETN. I could care less. You know what I mean? It's a non-issue to me. Rock Out says, can I call you? I'm jumping off right now to get on a draft call, so I can't do a call now, but I'll come back tonight. We're doing puppy drafts tonight. Donald Brown says, how should I upgrade at QB, two QB keeper league? Fields, Mills, Lamb, Pittman, Woods, CMC, JT, Schultz, ETN. How should I upgrade at QB in this? I would say Fields, Lamb. That is kind of tough. See if Malik Willis is there. That might be your best solution. You just put him on the bench and wait, and that could be your savior. Past that, I mean, I don't know. I don't like Woods at all. CMC, JT is very good. You can maybe trade JT away and get a potential Javonte or Swift and get some kind of QB upgrade. I love your running backs. I love your tight end. I just don't. It's tough. Your team's actually good. The more I look at it, the more I like your team. You got CMC, you got JT, you got Schultz, you got ETN, you got Pittman, you got Lamb, Mills, Fields. I don't think you make a move. To be honest, the more I look at your team, Donald, at first I was like, it's you've revealed it in a weird way. The more I look at it, the more I like it. Give me Fields and Mills. That's pretty good. Get Malik Willis and you're fine. You're fine. I don't know. I mean, explore the CMC trade idea, but that's it. Devin Jett. My team for an 8-man league: Burrow, Swift, Javonte, Chase, Lamb, Pitts, St. Brown. Benches, Lance, ETN. Yeah, it's great, bro. What are you gonna? How you gonna not like that? Javonte, Chase, Swift, Burrow, St. Brown, Pitts. I mean, not even anything you can do. Let Kenneth Walker gain value on the bench. Maybe you got some value later. And Tony also start St. Brown or ETN at flex. Probably St. Brown at first if it's PPR. And then take it from there with ETN as you see the Jacksonville Jaguar offense unveil itself. Lamb is a solid wide receiver for Aaron Jones. Absolutely. Need a wide receiver, but afraid Jones might explode with volume. Yeah, but so is Lamb, and you're taking Lamb over Jones anyway. So that's a fantastic trade. Guys, that is all for today. I got to jump on a draft call. 365 people in here. 319 thumbs up. I got to all those super chats. We are good to go. I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm back tonight. Make sure you get on over to Underdog Fantasy. The link is in the description. Go click the link now and get signed up and get your minimum deposit in now of $10. They'll match up to $100. Use promo code Smitty or the link in the description. If you use the link, it'll put the promo code in there. But get over there right now and make sure you get ready, because we are absolutely doing puppy drafts tonight. We're absolutely doing puppy drafts tonight. Get in there, Keenan Allen or ETN. 0.5. I'll probably go Keenan Allen for week 1 until we see what's going on with ETN and that Jacksonville offense. But J-Rob is healthy. No, DTWD. He's not. Appreciate everybody. See you all tonight. Puppy drafts. Promo code Smitty. Link in the description. Be ready. KK, give me Pierce over Dillon, but they're both amazing. RP, Hooper, Ingram. I guess Hooper, but I don't like any of those guys. Pick up Likely. Thoughts on J-Rob's season? Talked about that a lot. Not a fan. J-Rob's coming off a torn Achilles tendon. He's not going to ever be the same. See you all tonight for the best ball puppy drafts. Later. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.